Taking care of your skin does not mean you hate yourself. Like, I need to know how many buildings you jumped over to get to this conclusion.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Body Honesty Project. My name is Lydia, and today we are talking all about Anti-Diet Pilot, her beauty standards, and her hypocritical views on fat phobia and body positivity. So, let's begin.
Gone are the days when I used to come onto this app and I would always defend myself when people didn't agree with me. Those days are gone. You either heard me or you didn't, and you can interpret it the way you want. I literally don't care. But I thought this was a really great example of what happens when certain types of people co-opt movements that weren't designed for them, assign their own meanings, and then attempt to discredit people who don't align with its new meaning. Taking care of your skin does not mean you hate yourself. Like, I need to know how many buildings you jumped over to get to this conclusion. Anyone who engages in visually altering activities, therefore is not body positive, makes no fucking sense. That means anyone who whitens their teeth hates themselves. Anyone who gets their hair done in a different hairstyle hates themselves. Anyone who dyes their hair hates themselves. Anyone who puts on a new outfit hates themselves. And maybe this is why people are leaving body positivity and body neutrality, because it's fucking toxic as shit. Not that I ever need to defend myself for anything that I get done. I don't get anything that changes the way I look. Like, I don't get filler. I don't inject Botox anywhere that would shrink anything. I literally just want this smooth, reflective glass skin. That's it.
Okay, there's a lot to dissect here, but I'll try to cover all the bases. Now, the argument that she's trying to make here is that taking care of your skin is body positive. And you know what? I agree with that. Any sort of self-care is body positive, including skin self-care. But I'm gonna disagree that Botox is skincare and self-care, because Botox is a poison. Yes, I know that Botox can be a medical necessity. If you have migraines or there's other diagnoses I know where Botox is a medicine. But if you are only taking Botox for aesthetic reasons only, you are actually doing skin damage because it is a poison. It does do damage to the muscles in your face. So it's not skin care. It is an aesthetic treatment, and I have absolutely no issue with whomever wants to do Botox. Go ahead and do Botox. But don't call it skin care, because it isn't. It's as much care as plastic surgery is. When you're inserting silicone and other injectables into your body, and you know what? I ain't a hypocrite. I know that I've injected things into my body, but I'm not calling that action body positive. And if I were to call that action body positive, my having plastic surgery, then I would consider all actions to alter your body also body positive. I think it depends on your own personal definition. But for me, Anti-Diet Pilot can't have it both ways. She can't say that altering your body one way is body positive, but altering your body another way isn't. So why does this bother me so much that Anti-Diet Pilot is fiercely defending her use of Botox as being body positive? Well, I don't know how many of you remember, but it wasn't that long ago that Anti-Diet Pilot did this long series of TikToks telling us all the ways that we are fat phobic and how being fat phobic is not body positive. And she had this particular stance on being fat phobic and makeup.
If all of a sudden fat was the beauty standard, would you still want to be thin? What's wrong with wanting to fit a beauty standard? You're wearing makeup. Anybody can wear makeup, regardless of who you are, your political ideology, your sexual orientation, your gender. Anyone can choose whether or not they want to wear makeup. But when we create a standard of beauty that is dependent on factors out of our control, that is oppressive. Oppressed? Anyone can be lean if they put in the work. I'm willing to put in the work. Why should I be punished? Because we don't get to choose thinness the same way we choose to wear makeup. When we engage in dieting activities to change the way our body looks, we increase our risk for diseases and psychological disorders. And if we don't choose thinness, we're subject to oppression.
And to me, by that logic, if it's only things that anybody can do, that should also include things that anybody can afford. Because she's saying that we are creating an elitist hierarchy about beauty. Well, she's forking out a lot of money to look beautiful. And her budget is way higher than the average woman. Let's take a look. So, as we can see, being anti-diet pilot isn't cheap. $800 for cosmetics, $600 for Botox, $160 for laser hair removal. I mean, these are expenses that a lot of people can't afford. So, she's allowed to create or adhere to a very, very expensive and out of reach facial beauty standard, but is allowed to shit all over a body beauty standard that doesn't actually cost anything to adhere to. Make that make sense. Now, here is where I wanted to insert a clip about Anti-Diet Pilot telling us that losing weight is fat phobic, but I could not find the clip I wanted. But I'm sure many of you have seen it because it had been stitched a lot many years ago, and it's of her eating a salad out of a Tupperware. And she says, sure, there are lots of reasons that people lose weight, and they're valid, but they're also fat phobic. So this is her stance. It does not matter if it's medically necessary. It does not matter that your doctor asked you to. It does not matter that you're having personal stress about your own weight. It does not matter that your weight is causing you to be immobile. If you choose to lose weight for any reason, it is fat phobic. And if you're fat phobic, you're not body positive. So by Anti-Diet Pilot's logic, you can be an individual of any weight. As long as you don't try to lose weight, you are body positive. And you can still be body positive while getting your injectables, your Botox, and your laser hair removal. Even though those things are not affordable to most people, and by her logic, that's creating an elitist hierarchy about beauty, it's still okay because it's her choice. However, if I make a choice to lose a couple of pounds, well then, I'm fat phobic. Then to me, she started to get a little bit desperate in her argument because the whole need to say that, well, I don't do anything that drastically changes my appearance. Well, that's an admission that you are doing something that changes your appearance. Because if it didn't change your appearance, why would you be doing it in the first place? And I'm sorry, but your Botox treatment makes you look more different than me losing 5 pounds. I think it's just so wrong to lambaste people over losing weight and saying that they're fat phobic and not body positive while flaunting a bougie lifestyle. And this lifestyle standard from a financial point of view is absolutely ridiculous. This woman is telling young girls that $7,000 a month is the bare minimum. I'm sorry, but I'm a grown-ass woman who's quite successful in her career. I don't complain about the amount of money I have. I have 4 kids that live in my house. I have kids that play hockey, ones that are in competitive dance. I have bills to pay. I have their activities to pay for. I have my activities to pay for, and I don't spend $7,000 a month. Like, that's crazy. It's teaching irresponsibility. If you are in your 20s and you are blowing $7,000 a month on yourself, take a good look at what you're doing because you ain't saving for anything. And if this is how you continue to live your life, I guess you can be like Anti-Diet Pilot and seek a sugar daddy. So now we're at the point of the video where I give my opinion about Anti-Diet Pilot. And my opinion is that I don't think that she's part of the body positivity movement. I think that she's part of the make me the beauty standard movement. Because she, like Tess Holliday, does everything else except the losing weight part. Or does she? In my opinion, she wants to have a smaller body. And she used to have a smaller body. And she is dealing with some sort of eating disorder recovery. However, she still wants everyone around her to be fatter than her. And this is how she's doing it. She's preaching body positivity and to stay fat and to tell all the fat allies that losing weight is fat phobic. I stand with you. But she herself is not letting herself get to be morbidly obese. She has loosened the reins a little bit. Yes, I can tell that she has gained some weight, but she is not fat by any stretch of the word. She's not fat. But with her place in Bopo, she can be the thinnest one that's allowed in there because she's loud. And by doing all the other aesthetic treatments, she can be the most beautiful. She can be the prettiest one, the most desirable one in the Bopo movement. And she won't get pushed out as long as she keeps preaching that losing weight is fat phobic and all intentional weight loss is fat phobic and that everybody should just try to eat intuitively. As long as she keeps preaching that, she's allowed to stay in Bopo. And she can be the queen, or should I say the skinny queen of Bopo by doing all the other things. Now, the other thing I want to point out is she knows that exercise results in burning calories, which equates to a fitter body. And you can tell that by the picture she used for her gym membership, kind of looking hot, sweaty, and sexy, kind of giving the impression that, hey, if you want to date this girl and you want this body, well, you're going to have to pay for it. Because that's what all the other messages were saying. It's like, hey, you want glass skin? Well, you got to pay for it. Hey, you want smooth legs? Well, you got to pay for it. And that picture to me says, hey, you want a hot body? Well, you got to pay for it. So for me, I think that she was sneakily saying that her body cost something. And I really believe that deep down, she ain't happy with this body. She wants the body that she had before and is trying to convince herself to like the body that she has now. But because she's having such a hard time with that, it's a whole lot easier just to tell everybody else to stay fat or get fatter so that now she can be the skinniest one of the fat. At least, that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think that using Botox is body positive? Do you think that Anti-Diet Pilot is body positive? Do you think Anti-Diet Pilot is a grifter? And do you think that she's being honest? Because on this channel, we're all about being honest. So until next time, stay body positive, but also body honest.